Okay, let's get going because we have someone here who is 3 hours ahead of us. So, okay, welcome everybody. Nice to see you all. It's almost like there's more people coming to Vajrasattva than there is to the morning meditation now. And this is a harder practice. Okay, all right, well, welcome everybody. And let me just fix the microphone. Okay, all right, well, it's so lovely to see you all. So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And a number of people are sitting at desks, so have your feet slightly raised, just reminding everyone to keep the legs parallel, about hips width apart, and your sits bones raised maybe 2 to 4 inches. If your legs are, crossed in the regular meditation posture, you can relieve any kind of tightness in the hips or in the knees by just popping a couple of cushions underneath each knee. Hands are in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And just align your shoulders with your hips. Take a nice deep breath. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light. And you can imagine that somebody is like a puppeteer is lengthening that string, and you along with it. So what we're doing is we're just coaxing the muscles along the spine, along the back, to lengthen. You know, as we walk around in our day, we stomp down the discs in between our vertebrae. So we want to give them some space, some air. Your head is slightly tipped forward, giving you a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose to a spot about 2 inches ahead if they were open. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. Let's bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead. The eyes, the back of the eye, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And then bring your awareness to the back of the head and relax the scalp there. And then relax your ears, the temples, back of the tongue, the jaw. And release any tension in the back of the neck. Drop the shoulders down. And just relax, let your shoulder blades just drop down, relax them. And as much as you can, relax the back. In yoga they call that the back body. Interesting term. Then relax the throat, the chest, the belly, the limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes, and bring your mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. It's just flowing in through the nostrils. Slightly cooler as you're breathing in, slightly warmer as you're exhaling. And if you're noticing any sounds in your environment, in your house, outside, pets, just allow those sounds to be there. But you can acknowledge that you find it distracting. And just notice what sounds are drawing you away. And then just very gently bring your mind back as the sounds fade into the background. And then notice your thoughts as they arise. Maybe try and put some space in between the thoughts and allow them to flow. without getting engaged. So trying not to follow a story. Try not to criticize yourself, have opinions. So as we've been doing, you just let's sit ourselves down, if you wish, on the bank of a very beautiful river and just watch the river flow by like a very interested observer. And this river is your river of mental moments. And while you're sitting on the bank watching the river, you're free from the river. And bring the mind back to the breath, and let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. And these are the ones we love, who we hold dear, who we care for. And then there's some folk in our life, and they are difficult for us, for one reason or another. And then there's those strangers, those people that we pass hundreds, if not thousands a day in traffic, at the supermarket, along the street. And think they're all the friend, the enemy, and the stranger can all change place at any time. It's really good to think of those relationships that are dear to us, that are important to us, that we don't take them for granted. Because the merit that we have to have those could change. And the friend, the enemy, and the stranger, we should all, it's good to think of them all equally, with equal concern, because they all, just like us, wish to be happy and don't wish to suffer. And they all have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So bring the mind back to the breath and just think we're going to do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, for all sentient beings. And if there's anyone in your life that you can think of, just bring them to mind. And then also maybe there's someone in your life who, maybe wouldn't think to come to this kind of meditation. It's got a complicated mantra and it's kind of holy. It's a bit more advanced. So you can just bring them, invite them in your mind, have them sit next to you doing this practice with you. It's quite sweet. So just remember, this is purification practice in the context of the 4 opponent powers. So just reminding ourselves there is no negativity that cannot be purified. There's nothing we've done that's so bad, so awful, so embarrassing that we can't purify it. That's the good news. And we create negativity with our mind, so we can, also good news, we can change that quite easily. We can create positivity with our mind instead. We can change things. And we have a lot of power in that way, and I think we don't. The LAMA YESHE used to say, "You do have the power." He was quite firm about that. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience harm, suffering in the future, and we never know when that will ripen. So logically, in order to avoid this, is we remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And also regret our delusions, our anger, attachment, and the rest, that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I am sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So now we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we can see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Vajrasattva for forgiveness. We're not sort of giving him that power. What we're asking for is methods that we can use to heal ourselves. So we do the work ourselves. So Vajrasattva, imagine above the crown of your head, and he's your teacher, your guru, your trusted mentor, your lama, however you label the person that's leading you along the spiritual path. This is their mind manifesting in this male Vajrasattva form, youthful form, for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon disk. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but untainted by them. So he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all the people of your life. He has no judgment towards you. So happy to see you. Accepts you just as you are, however it is you've turned up today. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And there being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. In this case, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us. So just bring to someone to mind, someone you may have harmed recently, and develop a sense, a wish in your heart for them to be free from suffering. And then also the same for someone who's harmed you. And even though more difficult for the person who's harmed you, perhaps, because of the harm they've caused you, they are going to suffer in the future. So you want to develop a sense of compassion because of that. So think, I must purify for all of these sentient beings. I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification using light and mantra recitation and visualization. So first we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, very forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so next is a purification of speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So quite forcefully disappearing into space. Just imagine. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And so next, Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. The light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, grudges, jealousy, bitterness, and all the wishing to harm, getting back at people, all these kind of weird, uncomfortable, unhealthy feelings, all completely dispelled as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted. All your delusions, which are the source of all of our suffering, all of our delusions cause our suffering, and the cause for why we harm others with our body and our speech. And all of this is totally purified, gone. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So if you wish, you can do a couple of mantras for each of the visualizations we've just done of the body and of the speech and of the mind. Or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you from Vajrasattva's heart, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So now really try and feel that you're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve. But first of all, just rejoice in your efforts coming along here this evening and for Jay this morning. So everyone's busy, so many people are working, taking time off from your relaxation time to come along here and do this practice. It takes enormous commitment. So that's just really wonderful. Just rejoice in your effort. Just that is enough. And then rejoice in the efforts that you've been making, the progress you've been making in, working on all of our habits of our speech and all different things we do with our body. So just think of something that you've been working on, and maybe you would like to increase the time, find some other kind of habit that's harmful for ourselves and others. And just have an aspiration to refrain from doing this thing for like 5 seconds or half an hour or overnight while we're sleeping. And this aspiration to want to change is what gives us courage. We make a decision, we just decide, gives us strength. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. And in this way we can think of all phenomena as being empty, not existing from their own side, dependent arisings. You can also think that perhaps the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Ho tup shul chang shin jam gon Galloway, Tenzin kyang pelway kunzo dog porze, chog sum kurwe leg mon tu drub, pa dag sog dulje gon du jab ten shog. And for Lama Ursul Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Look, everybody, have a wonderful evening and a wonderful night and a wonderful afternoon, and lots of love, and sleep well if that's what you're going to be doing now. And take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much for hosting.
Thank you.